Hey, what's up YouTube? So, finally got something in the mail I've been waiting for. And it's from China. And it's gone a long ways. In fact, it went, if I remember right, it went from China to Japan to Korea, back to Japan, then to Alaska, then I think to Tennessee, and then to Portland, and then to Roseburg. And so it just came in today. I've been waiting. I ordered it before Christmas because it was sort of a good sale going on. And but it is straight from real China, and so hopefully it survived the trip because it went quite a ways. I noticed it had a couple of dings in it. Let's see. That side. Well, just a little dinky in the corner. It looks like you got hit by something, but not bad. There's a little puncture mark there. And the bottom looks pretty good. So let me open it up there. So that's just my invoices and stuff there. Huh, I wonder if those are supposed to be handles. Hopefully this is showing up on tape. You know what? I am going to do it like this. It's kind of funny how what they get used for cardboard in China. I was into shipping and stuff for the military a while, and so the cardboard, there's like specs and stuff, and it has to be certain. I mean, it goes through standards and stuff like this. And the cardboard you get from China is just like almost not cardboard. It's like on the bottom of the rung. It's almost like it's, you can tell it. Anyways, it did its job. There's a way to do these fancy on the bottom, but I'm not going to do that. I'll just cut it open. Alrighty, hopefully that's the top. See if we can kind of figure out what it is. Oh, I think that's, not sure what the round thing is, but I think it's a spool. And I recognize that that's the bottom table. Oh, here's the instructions. They're fairly on top. And so what we got here, oh, it doesn't even tell you what it is. Please make sure the wire of the power supply connect the connector in max. Please make sure the wire of the power supply connect the connector in max. I think I know what they're trying to say there. Well, maybe I don't. But this is here's a hint: X motor, Y motor, Z motor, second Z motor, and an extruder motor. Yep, gotta order a 3D printer. And this is let me get the name of it. This is an Anet believe it's called an A8. The kit's just called, here, I'll fold it over so my address is on there. It says printer kit material acrylic part sample for built printer HS code, and get some kind of code. Let's take off the next layer. This is the big part that I was worried about, because some people get this. Here's the acrylic part, and two things will happen. Either it'll be broken, or like the holes aren't drilled out. There's a hole. It looks like it's actually drilled out, but it's just being held in by paper. Here's another one. So it looks like they got that one's okay, it looks like. I don't see any breakage on this one. So far, looking good. Here's my controller board, and this is here it tells kind of the first time it said this is an Anet A8. This is a printer type. And so this layer looks like it's all the electronics. Oh, here's a jump drive that probably has instructions on it. This one actually looks pretty cool. Not sure what's in this box. Probably nuts and bolts and stuff. Oh no, this is probably the power supply. So there's more acrylic down here. Acrylic scares me. And those rods, at least they don't look obviously bent right out of the box, but these are notorious for being bowed and stuff. Here's the stepper motors. Oh, that's nice. They labeled them the Z-axis and the X-axis. So at least right off the bat, it doesn't look like anything's broken. So like I said, I've seen guys open it up on the internet and their acrylic's broken right out the box there. So just looking at it, nothing appears to be broken at this point, which is good. I'm not sure what that round piece is right there. I thought it was maybe a spool. Let me go take a look at that. Oh, it's kind of a bummer. It is. It's a spool of filament. Came with the printer, and it's black. Oh, where is it black? I'm not sure. It looks black to me, but it's kind of hard to tell through the plastic. Sorry, but I'm pretty sure it's black filament. Which I was hoping I'd get like orange or something like that. Anyhow, oh, here's another controller board looking thing. Oh, that's for the main board. Okay, so there's two steps involved in this. One is probably should do an inventory of all the stuff that you received, and two is the first thing I recommend doing. I'll show you right now. Get your power supply. I've never built one of these before. You want to get your power supply and make sure, see it's at 220, you want to flip it over to 110. So that's the first thing you want to do, because if you don't do it now, you'll forget. So I gotta get something to put in there and flip that over to 110. And I thought that weird. I'm kind of sleepy, so hopefully this is, I'm just not reading this right, but it looks like it says note. Please make sure the wire of the power supply connect the connector in max. So at first I thought the they're talking about, you know, making sure that thing was flipped over. But I think what they're talking about is the power supply. They want to make sure you put the wires in all the way. I think that's what that's trying to tell me. Anyways, I'm going to pause the video here and I'll pick it up. My next plan is I'm probably going to look at that jump drive and see what's on there. And it's right over here. I'm going to take that jump drive. Luckily I run Linux, so it's kind of hard, not too fearful of viruses and stuff. And I'll pop that in, take a look, see what's on there. And then, again, don't forget to flip that power switch. You might as well do that right off the bat or you'll forget later on. And then the next part is I should do an inventory, but I might jump straight to hooking up the electronics, because that's the first assembly step. You want to make sure all your electronic components are working before you start assembling this thing. Because if you have a bad motor or something, you want to find out before you put it inside the printer. So I'll kind of look how to do that, and I'll show that along the way. Okay, I wanted to show you something that's kind of cool. I thought this was a USB jump drive. It's a USB adapter. It might have a jump drive into it, but it's for a micro SD card, which is really cool. That was pretty nice of them to think like that, because the way this will work is you can put your programs on this micro SD card, and then you plug it into the printer when you get it all together, and then that's how you send your print jobs. You print from the micro SD card. So I'm just really pleased that they thought about doing that, because it was nice of them to give me the micro. I'm assuming that's the micro SD card in there, not just like a filler thing, but it's nice that they gave me that. And it's probably got some data files on there, and so they kind of got the best of both worlds. It's acting like a jump drive because it's probably got the programming on there, the README files and stuff, and it's something I would have needed to have anyways, and now I have the correct part. I don't have to buy something else. Anyways, I thought that was a nice touch. I appreciate that. Alright, so what I did was, this is a pretty good idea, I thought. I plugged in that jump drive, and sure enough, you know, it had the micro SD card in there. And the first thing I did is I went to my home directory, made a folder called 3D printer, and inside there I made a folder called A8. And inside there I copied I made a folder called A8 micro SD card or something like that. SD card, I think is what I call it. And then I simply just copied the whole SD card into that folder right off the bat. That way if something happened, maybe I get a power spike or something like that, I wouldn't lose those files. I thought that was a pretty good step that you should probably do, is make a backup copy right away of your micro SD chip thing they give you, card I guess you call it. And then I kind of reviewed what was on there, and two things jumped out at me. One was they gave me a 3D parts list right here, which is really cool. And so step one is to go through. This one is just 6 pages, but there's also a 46-page assembly instructions, which I'm printing out. And the first 6 pages of that is a duplicate on this. And one thing that I was confused about on this, I'll just show you in case you have this problem, is the last page 6 of the PDF. It looks like it's cut off the top, but I actually went into the PDF file and double checked, and that's how it is in this 6th page. This is a single PDF labeled something like a parts list, and it only has 6 pages into it. So I'm going to go through, and it's neat because they give you a checkoff block for everything. So I'll find the hot bed fixed aluminum plate, which I happen to see you from right over here. It's on the couch there. And so I'm supposed to have one of those, so I'll check mark that off. So I'll go through and I'll check mark all 6 of these off, all 6 pages of this off, to make sure everything's there. And then I'm going to go get the 46-page printer guide, which is still printing out, and I'm going to double verify it against that and see if there's any discrepancies between the two PDFs, and if there is, I'll let you know. So I think backing up that SD card was a good idea, and I just put like a little screwdriver, you can't see it unless I tilt it up, and I slid the little lever over to 110. You know, you use what's appropriate. If you're using 220 for some reason, you'd want to do that, but most places, if you're in the United States, you're going to be using 110. I think that's about it. So I'm just going to sit down and do my inventory, which will take me some time, and then I'm going to redo the inventory on the other sheet. And then I didn't see any steps inside there saying test your electronics first, but to give them a little bit of credit, there is it's weird, there's a doc file. I use Open Libre. It's an open source equivalent to Word. So if it's a Word doc, I don't know. I get to open it either way. Anyways, it's a doc file, I believe it was. And inside there's just a single page, and it tells you links to videos you can go see. And I think I've went through that link list before on my own. And I think inside there they tell you how to do the electronics testing. But I'll show you how to do that anyways. And then there's also a duplicate file of that, which is a PDF, which is kind of weird. I don't know why they made the doc file and they have the PDF. I'll have to look over both those and see if there's a difference between the two. Always worries me when, you know, you got different ones. Also, there's some confusion. I don't want to confuse you. Confusion on the way this power supply is laid out, and I think I already see some stuff. Mine is like awesomely done. There's a picture in there saying this is the power supply, and it's confusing as heck to read because the things don't line up. On my power supply, I'm very lucky because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 spots, and if you look on, I don't know if it's showing up on camera, but these are labeled 1 through 9. So they'll correspond to each little square there. On the original ones, they weren't like that, and even in the picture doc for the power supply, it's not like that. And it's very confusing to figure out which leads you're supposed to hook some of the stuff up to. This side's really easy. It gets confusing over here. But I like this. It looks like they made it, basically fix the problem by making a sticker. But this power supply feels really flimsy. But yeah, that's just an opinion there, but I mean it's gonna hold together hopefully. It's got like plastic in it there and stuff. Not the highest quality, but hopefully it works. And I'll take a look, and being an electronics guy, I'll probably end up popping the lid and seeing what they put underneath there and make sure no bulge capacitors or anything. That's just kind of a side note. I'm really happy I looked at this because I was looking at the picture. It's confusing, and my picture, I'll show it to you, it doesn't look like this. This is much better. Anyways, and that's kind of jumping the gun. I'll show you that. I think there's a 27-step assembly process. I think that's what it was saying. I'll show you that later. Anyways, enough rambling. I'll pause this and start my inventory.